Boo-doo-doo-doo. Give me one moment. I am getting this thing going. Let's go. Yes. Give me one moment. What's going on? What's going on? I am getting things set up real fast. Copy this link. I'm a bit more prepared today. Well, not really. I'm kind of prepared. I mean, I'm planning a product. That is what's going on today. I've got to plan a product for real, for real. And I'm going to tell you why I have to plan it a certain way. I kind of touched on it yesterday, but I wanted to begin thinking in the scope of where I see business going in the next few years, especially where I need to see my business going. And it's not just my business. I'm thinking multi-tiered because I have to think for clients. Some clients that don't believe in the technology, and that's fine. There's clients that didn't believe in the internet. But it was in the same practice I went through when I went into the internet. When I didn't understand the internet when I came back from the military. I was a Marine, served in the forces. When I came back from the military, it was in the 90s. I just found out that basically the public internet started in 91. So that's crazy to me. So it's like literally when I'm getting into the military, the internet was born. And then when I'm out of the military, it's widespread. So much so that in the projects, my homeboys had AOL and was chatting with people. And was that blew my mind. Like I couldn't grasp my head around. I was like, wait. Y'all are on this internet thing talking to people? Because I thought I didn't know what the internet was. But I mean the fact what blew my mind away was like, wait. You talk to people online? Like you can communicate. And it was like, yeah, you chat. I was like, wait, you have live conversations online? Like that's crazy to me. Like I could see, when I was working at in the military, we wrote Word files, like we wrote a file, a document. We had an Excel spreadsheet, but those were static files. We were by ourselves. So I didn't see a use for having Excel in my house. I didn't see a use for any of that crap. And it wasn't until I came out of the military that I got it, that it hit home. And it made sense because what my staff sergeant had told me, buy Microsoft at $5. I didn't. And Microsoft got you to the internet. And even Bill Gates didn't get the internet, like outright, because he didn't get the browser outright. He was very reluctant to even build the browser. So competitive advantage on a technology doesn't mean anything. He just hooked to the internet. He's like, great, now computers can talk to himself. That's great. Now I can just have more desktops that communicate. We can do it in office. So he was just thinking really local. He wasn't thinking on the span of this communication shift. The minute I saw Napster and I was like, wait, somebody can store my music somewhere and share it with somebody else. Damn, if there was a layer of pricing on top of that, that would be awesome. That's a new distribution means. When somebody comes up with that, that's going to be insane. Napster mixed with Bitcoin gives you something crazy. That was my idea. I didn't know about Bitcoin. I didn't think about that. I was just thinking this website thing, and now you can have this PayPal thing, and that means you could use the download. You can like put some type of permission and block on the downloads. Well, then you just need like a download manager with a download manager in your website. Well, shoot, you can sell music. Well, you're your own label then. And that was just the simplicity for me. Then it was like streaming costs, right? Then I figured out, oh shoot, bandwidth costs. I can't just be streaming video because I upload a video and that's all my bandwidth. So a lot of things for that whole thought process I had got shattered because the technology wasn't ready. So I then kept looking at it and then just saying, okay, well, it's early. This internet thing is early. So what I focused on was then saying, let me focus on getting a job using the software to get a job. So whatever the technology of the time or the technology shift, I figured if I connected myself to internet-based jobs and all these companies pivoted over to the internet and like needed websites, I'd win. Bing, bing, bing. Great idea, huh? Follow where all the information was going, where the herd was going, the herd mind. You follow the dots. You follow the money. I saw all the money starting, all the businesses starting to understand, wait. I can have my employees communicate direct, like I could have like customer service. I could put a little customer service box and somebody could email me and I can fix problems, right? Those little things the internet gave businesses edge. Email, being able to go back and forth, those little things gave a business an edge. So how did the internet fail back in 2001? There was a big crash that happened. And I'm getting to this image right here that you see on your screen. I'm getting to this image. And I'm starting this talk today based off of this image alone. Right? This is going to be a time talk. I'm going to be done in an hour. So there is a reason I'm going here. And that is this image. I wanted an image that said multiple things at once. And when you look at it right now, I want you to just look at it and have something in your mind when you look at this. And I'm going to tell you about my start in this industry. See, so from the eyes of me understanding the tech that was coming up. And then I want you to relook at this picture again when I tell you what's coming and why I am very much dug in on the tech. I'm dug in because this is another layer. But the layer needs the same thing the first layer needs. We are looking at a layered solution, a new layered solution. And with this brings new business models. We have to start imagining them or we'll never wrap our heads around it. It's just that simple. So when I first came in, and I'm going to go with a new window because I'm going to start on the fly with this one with y'all. Give me 1 second. '90s. I'm going to bring this screen over, right? Drag that out. So, I want to get some images for y'all. My internet sucked. For those of you that can't see, I have a screen up. You'll have to look at it in the rebroadcast. And I've gone into Google Images and I have Internet 90s is my search term. And if you look at my internet, I want you to understand that the reason why the internet collapsed, the tech boom, hold on, the Control T, the internet crash, internet crash 2000, right? I think it's 2001. I think it was 2001. .com bubble. There we go. Yep. .com bubble. That's what we need as the code word. .com bubble. Images. Okay. So I want y'all to just understand give me one. I just want to refine the imagery that's coming up. All right. Well, it's not really giving me what I'm looking for, so I'm gonna just go here with the one that's there. I want you to, if you look at the screen, you see how simplistic the internet was. It was a white page basically with some imagery on it. So like Pepsi, these were ads. This is what Google looked like back then, pretty much the same as it is now. These what search engines look like. You had all these ads on it. You had your, put your box in. They had different colors and all this stuff. It was really the wild west of design. This is what Windows look like. Um, People were building businesses. So imagine, okay, millions of dollars were going into businesses that their only claim to fame is that we were a business that had a web page. There you go. That was it. That was the entire reason the internet crashed. The stock crashed. So when you're seeing all of a sudden it's spiking, and then bang, it crashed down, is because nobody knew what the hell they were buying into. Now me, I'm coming into the space and I'm like, well, I can get a website up, but I have a website up. I put a website up from my friend over there. He's selling stuff online. He's not making $1 million. How is all these other companies making $1 million because they have a web page? Well, what's their business? And you started looking at the underlying business. I was like, oh, well, they're just a warehouse with a web page that's selling crap items. Okay, that's gonna fail. Sure enough, they fail. Oh, pets. I want to ship a pet in a box. Really? Oh, that's gonna fail. Like, this was the companies. We're gonna use the old infrastructure. We're gonna have this new thing called the internet, but we're gonna try to put analog businesses on top of it, and then we're gonna say we have a web page, and because we have a www at the front of our damn name, boom, we should get $1 million. That was it. And I'm looking at it at the practicality, right? I'm designing web pages for plenty of companies who now want to do that and get stock and go over the counter and try to sell on the back end to get, these are what these rooms, boiler rooms are about. That all that stuff you see where greed is good, all this stuff. New Control T, greed, greed. Damn, I can't. I hit the wrong button. Is good, right? Boom. So, Wall Street, the movie, right, with Michael Douglas. This whole movie is literally about them pumping up these crap stocks, and a lot of them were just like internet companies that were like small crap companies that were burgeoning. But this was what was happening in I think this was the 80s version of that or something like that. This is what happened in the 80s. But the Wolf of Wall Street, I think, is closer to what was happening in the 90s. I didn't watch the movie, so I don't know. But the fact is the boiler rooms, all of that stuff that you see, that shit was real. And that was what was happening all over the place. And that's why when you just see, I have a website, and it's like, that's it, and I should get $1 million? Because people could connect to your web page and look at what? Look at the billions of web pages that are out there now, right? That was, at the end of my mind, I was like, well, okay, well, everybody will have a web page. So what? I have a web page. I'm just a graphic, quote unquote, designer at the time. So what? I have a graphic design. I can't even get, I have a graphic design site. I have all my stuff on my site, and I still can't get a job because I didn't understand to make a portfolio. So what I have was, I had a design site that I just had the designs to get the clients that were wanting, like the musicians. So I could design CD covers, or can design their posters that they were hanging at the construction site, snipes. So I was doing all that work, doing the artwork for that. The adult industry was starting to pop off, so I did some artwork and websites for them. Well, I got to do what I got to do, right? Adult industry always paid the bills for any new tech. Look at the VHS and VCR and DVDs and Laserdiscs. Why do you think they were selling? It wasn't to watch Bambi. Or maybe it was. But I digress. The internet is just a connection to thoughts. But doesn't mean that your thoughts are $1 million a project. You can provenly see that now. How many people are online and how many people are still broke? Because your thoughts aren't $1 million project. My thoughts on $1 million project. Hell, well, I'm still where I'm at, but I'm doing that because I'm waiting for scale. Again, I want you to look at this picture and understand that there's a thought process coming. Why I'm not moving is because currently in the business structure, at the price point, the jugs is to get a functional piece of software. You either need to develop it all yourself and introduce your own bugs, or you can use whatever programs are in your price range, which will still have hidden costs like server expenses, bandwidth expenses. Then you have marketing expenses, even if it's just doing like catering, like marketing a catering company. You've got all these expenses that you've got to push just to get a product out. And then it's in these arenas, like these venues, social media, that is Iron Curtain that you've got to pay to play, payola. Right? I can sit there and play a video and pay to play a video now over and over and over and put it out. Payola is legalized now. You just don't do it with music. You just broadcast on the channel. See, they got us. The jugs, right? Because organic reach in your search engine, SEO is pretty much dead. Because long live the application, right? But now we're oversaturated with applications, right? So you want to be a developer where there's billions of developers? Billions. You remember there is China and India, and they have billions of people. And then there's our millions upon millions all over the world, right? And what are they teaching elsewhere? The importance of STEM, right? Science, technology. What is it? What is STEM? Not electronic. Engineering and math. Engineering. At least I know it. Jeez. And that's coming from somebody who barely got out of high school. Like, I barely, like, it was a fight, yo. Like, I was literally getting beat to the floor to get through high school. Because I was bored, man. That thing was whack. What are you teaching me to make money? I'm selling candy. I already made money. All right, so what are you teaching me to really make money? I'm selling candy in school right now. Bang, what you gonna do? I'm making money. School's there to teach me how to make money, right? But I've already learned how to do that. What else you got for me? You mean I'm gonna go all the way to college to figure out this? I need to go to the supermarket, buy myself some candy bars. I need to make sure I don't eat them. One, because I'm already a fat boy. And I'm already hearing that from my family. And two, well, shoot. My West Indian family ain't giving me no gear to be able to survive getting through public school. Are you serious? Corduroy? Nah, homie. That's why I had to learn to scrap. And that's why I had to learn to talk, like really be slick with my mouth. Fast. Then that's why I ended up being an MC, because I could beatbox. That's when I got, like, just me being me after a while, I could figure it out. Like, music united. And if I was in music, it seemed to be like that was my swag. So I just kept swagging in what I could do. But then I realized with my pops was in music, still doing gigs at bars at like 40. Now I'm 40 and I'm not gigging, but I'm making royalties. My dad didn't get there. And I've seen what happens when you hear your music on a television show and you ain't getting no royalties because they stole it from you. I've seen an alcoholic and what that does to them. That's kind of where my microaggressions come from to the industry. It's nothing. I can't say it's nothing personal, but it kind of is personal. Why am I going to trust you with my music? I've seen what you did to my pops. I see how it affected me, especially when he got back deeper into the bottle. And he was just coming out of it, like he was getting his life together. And that's how I know it was real. That's how I know it was real, because he was never the same after that. And that's why I went to the military. I chose the military. I need to get out. I would take a bullet. Then that's when I got into gangs. That's when I was introduced to gang culture. And that's what I was, banging in the service. And then came out, seeing all the gangs that were on the street, hanging out, smoking, then seeing this internet thing build, and remember my staff sergeant. Seeing my boys get locked up, seeing one get shot, one get paralyzed. Shout out to my boy Rude. I saw that shit, and I got tired. And I'm looking on the internet while my homeboy is pushing himself in a freaking wheelchair. All because we were supposed to hang out one night. And I'm remembering my staff sergeant telling me, stop being a man whore and look at that computer thing. So I did. And everybody I started telling about it began to change their damn life. When I said, you could build a studio here, I'll give you mine, when I was in Macon. It ain't nothing, it's just hardware and software, and the software is getting cheaper and cheaper. There's a thing called Fruity Loops, and it's starting to record audio. I did albums on that ish. While we're struggling and making, I'm putting it on MySpace, trying to get us to eat. And then MySpace crashes because they took away a zip code. I saw it. We were able to connect. All because they took away a zip code, dude. Y'all can't fool me. The minute they took that away, you lost the reason to be there. Nah, you can't play me, homie. I saw that. I felt it. How could I reach anybody anymore? I can't even target a neighborhood anymore. And that's how I, at the time, had met my girl. I targeted a neighborhood because my homeboy, Ty Durden, was from Statesboro. And then I found out the zip codes and started marketing in that zip code because I knew he had shows out there. And I figured, well, I'll start networking, bringing my music out there, try to expand it a little bit. Maybe I can build a team out there. But you know, it is what it is. It's the beginning of an internet. And it crashed. MySpace was gone. Again, no reason. So I went into the virtual world. Found Second Life. Started cranking in there like it was on CNBC. People are making millions of dollars on digital real estate. Are you serious? You've got to be kidding me. I couldn't wrap my head around that. Doesn't matter where the commerce is. It is what it is. There used to be a thing called e-gold before e-gold. A digital currency. That thing crashed. I saw the birth pangs of what Bitcoin was. And I didn't get Bitcoin because I was like, well, that's another e-gold. Nah, I'm good. I already got beat and burnt on that. But as I began to understand the underlying technology, something began to change. As I began to say just simple things. What do I do now? I'm a web developer. I want to get into applications. Why won't you get into applications? It costs too much money for the underlying tech. If I want to have my own server, I have to handle all the security for the network and everything else. I can't afford all that. That's a lot of technician shite I don't want to do. So you give it to somebody else. You give it to Google. You give it to Microsoft, Azure, right? Google Cloud. You give it to Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services. WordPress site. You put up another client's WordPress site. Boom, you're a web developer. You hook up some stuff to make sure that the security's on the back end, kind of. Boom, you're a web developer, right? No, you ain't got no real scale. Because at some point in time, you're going to get too many people on that server. It's going to slow down. It's going to cost money. I've worked with startups. It's in my resume. I worked at a startup called Verima. Shout out to Paswami. I was trying to remember his name in my head. I'm horrible with names. I'm better with visions and pictures and sound. I'm beautiful with sound in my head. I just got to be able to get it out. But when I worked at that startup, we didn't eat our own dog food, right? That was the core lesson I learned. If you're going to sell a product, then you should be using it. You see, I created a product when I was at Citibank. When I was at Canon, excuse me. Because I got hired because I knew how to do WordPress, but then he gave me a problem. He said, because I told him, I was like, well, another thing that I do is I write automation systems on desktops. I've been able to write robots to do automated processing tasks. So if I need a task done on a machine and I'm able to figure out how to make it systematic, well, I can build a process to it. His eyes lit up. He's like, I got a problem. We have government contracts. I need to be able to make catalogs for these things. It takes 3 months to make one now. Could you give me a process to be able to do that? And I was like, well, how long? It takes 3 months to do it now? I was like, yeah, I can probably get it down to about maybe a month. And then we can scale down to speed it up later. But yeah, I can see a way to do it. And then they tested me on how I could build an application. Now, I failed at the to know the word nomenclature. I didn't know what it was, but in my head explained how I link databases together in a visual way. I said, okay, I do this with this table, and I link this column to this table, and I do this. And he was like, oh, that's called nomenclature. That's what I was just asking you. Oh, okay, cool. I don't know. I learned how to do this on my own. They were impressed. They were like, well, he's like, hire him. He doesn't know anything, but he can build an app. He knows how to build one. And I did. I built him something that took a 3-month process, and I built a process that delivered his price book. You gave me the Excel spreadsheet, and I delivered a PDF, right? That was the end game. I had to figure out how to get from a price sheet, an Excel sheet, and change that Excel sheet into a PDF within a day. It took me about a year and change to do it, to figure it out in my head, and kind of working through a bunch of tech that I didn't understand at the time, which was databases like MySQL. I didn't understand the database. When I started understanding the MySQL database, I was like, oh, this is powerful. Then I looked at Oracle again and saw what I missed. I went back in time and said, was there other databases? Wait, I was at Citibank working with Oracle. Oh, so MySQL is the free version of that. And we used Toad, this graphic thing, user interface to interface with the database. So I could, in a visual way, design a database and do the hookups. I was like, that was my hack. Give me something visual to the technology. And when you give me something visual that I can just build what I need visually, oh, I'll just soar. Database is the power that no company has been talking about. A database has been the technology that caused Microsoft Excel to overshoot Oracle database. Because Excel went to become Access Database, and Access Database gave you a visual way to build a small little database application for your internal business. So now you hired people that knew Access to build your Access applications, hooking to your databases, because you are now creating so much data because you are scaling out businesses connected to your internet through your email system. The practicality of the design of their businesses based on a new communication technology. Communication. What is the technology doing to communicate? Therein lies the tech. It's all about communication. When the people when the radio was brought back into their society, because they had already blown it out of ours, right? Fall of Granada. So, when radio came back and they started harping how they made all this tech that was already here. What we then had access to was broadcast again. When they started getting the radio towers back up and working, and started understanding the math and the equations to it. Some, in most cases, just utilizing us to bring it back after they take it from our hands, newspapers and everything else. I realize that whatever we're learning, whatever they're telling us, it doesn't matter if you yourself are not coming up and figuring out how you piggyback off the communication mechanism. So when the telephone came, what kind of businesses spurred up? When television came, MTV shot up. A new cable industry came. When the internet came, the industry, that cable industry and the hardline video, like the blockbusters of the world, fell to Netflix. Go online to a warehousing. We have these packages. We just mail them back out to multiple people. Throw them in a sleeve, mail them back out. Do they still work? Have a system test the disk, make sure the disk is still in functional order enough that it doesn't skip. And if not, they send it back to us. We scrap that, send them another one. Thank you. I don't have to leave my house to go to a place, to stand in line, to wait, to not see it. No. That's what caused them to fall when Circuit City lost to Best Buy. Communication. I could go online, order my package, get it shipped to my house. I'm done. Amazon just piggybacked off the idea and went AWOL with it. Coming up with their own mechanisms of taking open source software and building their entire business off of open source. It's documented. And now they're licensing open source. They'll work with an open source company just to jack it and keep moving. Pirates of Silicon Valley. It keeps happening. What do you think? The industry stops doing what it does? That's the movie that lets you see it. Pirates of Silicon Valley. I keep bringing it up. It's on internet.org. Or Internet Archive or something like that. Pirates of Silicon Valley. You can watch it for free. This is not a game. So the one thing that kept me surviving through every shift in the digital was understanding that communication was the pivot. AOL, communication, pivot. Oh, I can record at home. All right, I record at home with my, at the time, Cubase. I now just have to learn how to mix. I just need the plugins. Oh, these new plugins are coming out that can allow me to mix like waves. Okay, I'll start learning that because that's what these guys are using in the studio. Oh, it's over on my PC? Okay, I just got to get better ears. But I don't have the patience for all that shit. So I'll wait till something else has programmed engineer ears. Something's going to come with some good programmed engineer ears. I don't got time for that shit. My ADD can't do that. I can't do it anymore. It's worse. Communication. What is it at this point? Where are we shifting into? And when I look at this picture, for me, there's a multitudes of communication happening in this one little thing. One little shot. You just think it's esports, or maybe you think it's gambling or gaming, but there's levels on there. Levels. That's why I chose this one, because it was the only one that represented the so many levels in this one shot of what the blockchain tech could be and probably will be in the future, because it's the only infrastructure play I see. Bitcoin is the first of its kind self-replicating database that pays its engineers or IT staff to maintain it. One more time, because I kind of stumbled with that. Bitcoin is the only, Bitcoin is the first of its kind self-replicating database, meaning you can go download Bitcoin, put it on a machine. You might not make much, but you'll make something. You just have to learn how to optimize the machine, i.e. be an engineer. Learn how to do better hardware. You're now getting paid for how good you're doing hardware. Hold on, I'm lagging. There we go. You're now getting paid for how well you do your hardware. We lagged out for a second. So my product, and it needs to scale, is the thing that I always have to think of, because it's the biggest problem for when you don't have the cash to scale. It becomes a roadblock. It's a damn nightmare. Because if I have to think, how do I sit 1,000 people on here? How much is that going to cost me? If 100 people cost me about $100, because I have to scale up to 80, then I have to pay for the bandwidth, so that'll be about another $20. So yeah, it's about $1 per person estimated. So right now it's about $1 per person for everyone on the site. Or I can just let it crash. Right? That's my choices. I either scale up or I crash. If I scale up, I have to scale up my costs. So you either have to price in scale now or you don't. I want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on my time. So how do I scale to 1,000 people with the infrastructure that I have? How is that possible for me? That's our biggest issues. So when you look at this picture, when I say now, what do I see for the underlying tech? What if this machine that says blockchain, you just can't see it with my text, what if that machine was rendering the entire game from a system of interconnected machines globally, so that this game wouldn't be running on just one person's PC? So a single point of failure, being able to have a PC game on an esports campaign actually work. The biggest point of failure is somebody's computer crashes. The operation system crashes. What if that system was impossible to crash because it was scalable to almost infinitum? Especially if you could virtualize inside every single one of these virtual machines, you could get the cost of the hardware down to almost nothing. People don't even bring the PCs with them. They just have to bring their wallet addresses. Now your wallet is hooked in. Again, your wallet is your application and your passport into the game. Now all of your features, all of the things that are you are followed with you, right? So when they come in, they don't really connect to a machine other than to hook in. So all of their preferences come with them. Where that preferences is stored, how all that works, is all connected to the wallet itself. So the application just needs to have an interface. And if it's connected to an entire network, it would just be you logging into your thing through authentication, maybe biometrics. And that's it. You're in your game, you've got your settings, you're able to play. And this system is connected to an interrenderable, just infinite power of machinery, global machinery. The audio stream is another network system for their private network that they have with their private team members and staff and gamers from all over the world who render their network for them as well. So that they can all be on the play-by-play and can be effectual, looking and scouting and seeing things and being the eyes and ears to help the team win. That maybe there's gamers, there's betting going on screens, going back and forth on what's going on in world inside this game, and people are betting on certain hedges or shifts in what's going on with the data. There's plenty going on, and all of it's processed through a system of networks maintained globally through a distributed system, excuse me. These are the things we've got to think about. These are the ideas we got to think about for our businesses. So I'm going to go ahead and get straight into our news now, because I want to keep this on time. As I told you, we're going to grow slow. That's why I'm just going through these things fast, because y'all know we talked about this. Power still going up in usage. The machinery is still going up. Fear index is starting to creep back up. People are feeling good. You know I don't trust that, because I go into the wallet watching. Drop into them 10K wallets. Make sure we're on our day for what it was yesterday. Get our timelines up. And we can see we actually have gone down further on a sell-off. So now they weren't good enough to trigger. This wasn't good enough to trigger anything off. So now they went ahead and pulled down further again. We saw what happened when they do that. See? Playing with the market. Yet again, the game's being played to be able to manipulate it. Let's see if these wallets that we know are their little hit. Like, I know they are definitely trying to keep the higher wallets away from us. We've got a little bit of a sell-off on the 1K wallets. So now we see a little bit of a push from both sides, the manipulating side, the ones that were aggregating. So it looks like they want to go down lower again. All right. I see the game. Right? Oh, that wasn't good enough. The last couple days this is the shakeout for the fake. This is the shakeout for the fake out, right? Ha ha. Ha ha. Gotcha. Shakeout for the fake out. Let me do a BART and then just shake out for the fake out. Let me go ahead. I'm going to show you I'm accumulating. Then boom, I start my sell off, right? 100 wallets. Are we accumulating? We're still accumulating, but we might be getting some weakness there. 10 wallets are still accumulating, and we know all of these wallets down here are, for the most part, what's going to end up running from the market. They're running into the market now, getting gassed. They're shakeout for the fake out. We're calling it now, right? We're calling a shakeout for the fake out. We're looking at a bull trap. What are they doing? Barting it up. Don't have a cow, man. Drop it down. When we do it, drop it like it's hot. When did we drop it like it's hot? We dropped it back on July 1st, right? Let's go to the charts. Let's scroll in. Let's go to July 1st. Wait. What was this? Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second. That was... I messed up. That was in June. I'm in July. What was that? June 9th. No, wait. I'm right. No, June 1st. Sorry. June 1st, not July 1st. So June 1st. May, June, right here. Shake out. So you dump, and then it triggers a couple days later, and then it falls. I'm just reading it. I don't know if that is an effect or cause an effect. I just go live with you, right? So I just go back to what was the last time I saw that happen. It was here. How far it fell, right? I'm seeing a fall, and it comes down, and it comes up here, and it goes into a play the market zone, right? So when it came down here 2 days in a row, how it affect June 1st and 2nd, right? 2 days in a row on June 1st and 2nd. So we go to May. It was coming back up. June 1st and 2nd. We have our negative. Boom. It took a little bit of... It took the 3rd and the 4th. And then it dipped by the 7th. 7th and 8th. On the 7th and 8th, what did we see happening on this market? 7, 8. 7, 8. 7... Boom. 8. Boom. And then they go right back into dump. So there's no value in this. And then they go back into a dump. And then let's see how long that dump now stretches for. But we know that if we had the fluctuations happening here, and we're at this level now on the 9th of June, which was yesterday, boom, we were up 9th of June. They're now going down, right? And what was the first signal? And it takes 1-2 days. So we're going to look at what happens the 12th. What is the date of the 12th? That is Saturday. Is that when on weekends we have problems on the weekend? Yeah. How much time? I'm watching the time. Okay. All right. So we're watching. You understand now, right? You understand what may be playing into. I don't know if this will play out. We'll watch it together, right? Let's move on. CoinGecko, we're going to look the day. We already know what's going on. The manipulation is real. We know what day they want to pump everything out is the 30th of June, because that's when the news is going to be heavy, is June 30th. So we already know they needed one more cycle to break down to get it into the zone they want for the game that they're playing, that I don't have the freaking file for, that I thought I queued up, but it doesn't seem like I did. Don't know why it's not keeping. I will have to fix that. This, the BART fake out, crash down. Thanks to Uncomplication, back in April 25th, he let us know where this market potentially was going to fall. You can see where it falls, That'll be in this zone. That'll be right around here at around the 32 to 28K. They are manipulating the market to get it in the pocket that they want. And I drew through sentiment analysis, link in the descriptions below, or go into the Toxic Hustle and you can see it there. In our videos, we have the intro to sentiment charting is how I get my blue and purple lines, right? That's where these lines come from. And it's how I am watching how they manipulate the market and where they're going to bounce to. Notice how the monthly line is right at that 28,000 mark. And we just said it was 28 and 32, right? Look, we're at 32. Is that not right there? Do you see that with just what we're doing, with something as simple as drawing monthly and weekly lines on a damn chart, you get to see how they're playing the market. We just go with what's happening, not what we feel. Now, it is an engine. It is a scarce engine, and it's the first prototype of a decentralized internet. So that's it. It's a prototype. Now, however long this prototype sits in space, or if it just becomes a store of value and we're happy with that because it does buy all coins, then cool, we're good with that. That's just the beta, yay. If it does something else in the future, cool. I'm looking at Ethereum, I'm looking at Cardano, now I'm looking sideways at Solana. Right? I'm looking at that. Again, data. I don't have time to play because when crypto winter rolls in after this big run up that's going to happen later this year, you see December, November, this is going to play out October, September. September starts the run up. I'm telling you, you're going to lose your effing mind when you see it happen. And that's when we break through this double top. The purple and blue that's up here, it's a significant top. When we break through that significant top, it's because they made sure to get as much capital down here, and they've been talking to themselves and saying buy, buy, buy. We've been telling you hundreds of banks. Again, there's an article for this. Hundreds of banks. Hundreds of banks. Crypto. Oh, no, Bitcoin. Let's keep it straight to what it is. I'm just looking at the asset, right? I'm just looking at the asset. Hundreds of banks will get Bitcoin. And you've seen in the news what's been going on. Right? You've seen in the news what's been going on. So we know that other countries are getting into blockchain. We know banks are getting into Bitcoin. They're choosing Bitcoin as their legal tender and have voted on it, and it's passed in El Salvador. Congratulations that you're not stuck to a fiat currency that is getting printed out of existence with no economy to support it. You know, the debt that it was legal tender for. It's just debt on top of debt on top of promises. It's just IOUs. Now, at this point, because it's not tied to gold or now any physical labor force. That was what it was supposed to be printed for. The fiat was supposed to be for how good our labor force looked and our education for the labor force looked like. It was a Ponzi scheme because as you're able to print out all these people into the workforce, the jobs changed the minute the internet came, the minute computers came. They process more data than the people. They work 24/7. And that's just a luxury a business needs when the shareholders want higher gross revenue. So somebody's got to get cut. You think the $15 that they're paying as salaries are going to stick to a lot of people? No, 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 no. You better start learning how to load up these robots. I'll give you $15 to learn how to default program them, how to debug them, how to do upgrades, how to maintain them. I will pay you because I get paid in the crypto that's supporting the digital structures for the network of machines this corporation runs, and for the external users who want to be part of our robotic blockchain system. Get it? Y'all don't get it. Y'all supposed to be engineers now. Engineers, you were the original ones. You love to say you're kings and queens, love to tout all the damn tech, but you refuse to use the one right in front of you for more than trying to shoot your shot or to jiggle, baby. Go ahead, baby. Jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby. That's all we good for? Cutting ourselves up for the gram? 1 gram at a time? Losing our self-worth 1 gram at a time? Instantaneously. Stop playing with my people. We better than that. See, they don't want you to be a financial warrior. See, I'm waging war different now. See, I'm bringing the jungle back to finance. It's just an instrument. They call themselves a commodity. They say Bitcoin is a commodity. I just said the word commodity. A raw material or primary agricultural product that can be bought and sold, such as copper or coffee. That's a good question. Is Bitcoin a commodity? With Bitcoin, a new kind of commodity has been, we love that word, discovered. No Christopher Columbus. No, there is none. That's another day. I want to pull that up one day. We have to have a toxic thought on Christopher Columbus. Yeah, we're gonna have some toxic thoughts on Columbus. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that next week. We got to focus on business this week, and we'll destroy some of their other BS when we show all the pirates again. And Christopher was a actual pirate. All right, so Bitcoin a commodity. All right, well, if there's a market, right? So where are commodities traded? Are commodities traded on an exchange? Commodities are on exchanges. A commodity exchange is an exchange or market where various commodities are traded. Various commodities are traded. And you can trade, right? So we just got to understand that these are a different strain of commodity. So as I start to understand that process and start to understand the jugs of what a commodity is, and that Bitcoin could be considered a commodity, well, securities, commodities, regardless, it's a tradable asset. And then if I could buy into a tradable asset and the asset just so happens to be software, doesn't that just make me a software investor? I mean, just at the root, right? Then if the software can load up some Node.js in the future and allow me to install an application that I can build in an easy way someplace else, and then just drag and drop it into there, and then my logic just works because it's just built off of my own things and I just hook it into the protocol, then shouldn't it just work with the protocol? Shouldn't it just work? I believe so. I believe we're getting ready to have new types of applications. See, because El Salvador approves Bitcoin as legal tender, that means no capital gains. Means if I walk into a McDonald's, as he said in an audio, if you walk into McDonald's, McDonald's has to take Bitcoin. More and more countries are already running into this. Anthony Scaramucci says he accepts Bitcoin's volatility, sees upsides as it challenges gold. As long as a gold can fall from the sky and you can dig further or get better with your mining, and then it's going to just disappear anyway. So that doesn't help us. A major Australian fund manager has booted Tesla from its sustainability ETF because, lithium. We talked about all these yesterday. OKEX integrates with Polygon. We talked about that. So I really didn't get any new news, right? We're going to go into over here. I'm not going to go too far down because I'm sure there's not that much. We already went here with this OKEX. Fears of shady financial market prompt CFTC commissioners calls for DeFi crackdown. Again, the trigger here is, we're going to stop a thing that sits on a server someplace from running on the thing on the server someplace. We're going to stop that thing, all right. That's going to happen. Nah, man. I'm extending this for 20 more minutes. Because I want to get through this, but I don't want to rush. Bitcoin adoption accelerates as El Salvador passes monumental law. Let's understand that the ripple effect of this is a huge shot across the bow to the US dollar. Hey, we'll still call out and shoot out, hey, USA, $1 today. We'll still say it. We're not going to call out Satoshis, but we will say it's in this much Bitcoin. US dollar version of it, we'll just do the conversion on the back end, but it'll still be priced at your USDC value or USDT value. See, they can still peg it to $1, or they peg it to something like a DAI or something like that and earn 2% for just holding it. Or earn 1% for just holding it, being a custodian of it. Earning it with other things like a custodian does. Find for it gainful employment, investing in other software that helps your actual business. Eat your own dog food for your own product. Data is what your product needs, and we bleed data. Elizabeth Warren trashes Bitcoin. Yeah. Shimmy, yeah. We don't care. What does that matter? Is it changed my 21 million Bitcoin? That's 18.5 has already been minted? Nope. Is it gonna stop the fact that my Bitcoin still is not gonna, the last of it ain't gonna mine till 2140, and by that I'm probably have already moved on to more software. I'll keep some Bitcoin, it's cool to keep, but I'm not hedging my life on Bitcoin. It's just some cool thing that can trade and buy me other coins from a business. How can I get me cheaper databases, man? How can I store video, man? Because I'm tired of other video agencies determining the level of my, what I can say, or what I can hold, or what I can commit with, what they want to censure me with. I need consensus, not from your consensus. I need a public consensus on my video. And with that technology, that review type system, you can build more data into that review system that gives you a review application. And if I can build a review application, could I put like music reviews on that? Could I put a wallet behind some music reviews and you could listen to music and I can basically provably see that you're listening to the stream? That you give a review and some type of feedback, and then that way we have, proof of review at least. And you of course could automate that, but then if your reviews don't really matter and people can look at your reviews and vote you down, well then you're voted out of consensus, that your points don't matter and you get demoted by the system, right? So now a technology I saw on the internet in the early 2000s, right around the MySpace time, for listen to my music and I can get 2 plays for listening and reviewing your music. For every 2 listens I listen and review, I get X amount of listens in my queue that help promote my music to the good reviewers giving good reviews. That then that product could then be used for other things that could then go to other products that then get it more exposure. And then those things get reviewed and get passed to then get the distribution to go into social media. Do you see an hierarchy of an economy begins to form? All because wallets are connected. Because data is oil. That's what we're missing. The wallet's the app. You can plug your wallet in, put in your key privately, thumbprint it in, and log into a system securely and trustlessly. Transparently, the network's being monitored, and all the games are being viewed, and nobody can, you can try to hack the system, but if your wallet is trying to throw code into the system, wouldn't that be seen? Now you can bet on the game and not worry about the crashes or anything else. Now, I talk about this from the gaming side of things, but again, looking at this image, I wanted to show you multi-layered, because what you can't see is their screen, and you don't know what they're playing, and you don't know what the avatar is wearing. You don't know what music is in the game. You don't know who created the sound effects that are getting paid for how often their weapons or the sounds are being used in those weapons that people are buying for the game, that get approved and programmed by the community, because it's a community-based system. We're starting to see this begin to pop, and I have a Discord. I put the link in there to the Musical Geniuses Discord. Link is in the description. That's where the tribe lives. This right here, I don't think that this is the company. It could be in the future. I don't know. But I just wanted you to see that that idea in my head came to me yesterday afternoon as we've been talking, as we this is what this led to, and my hunt in the research in the evening and who I watched last night. I'm chilling with my lady and listening to audio. Yeah, and then it led me to an individual that had a video, and on that video they were talking about this gaming company that's starting to pop out. And I'm now looking at, when a gaming company is born from the blockchain and everything inside the game is born from its community is invested in its success. Because they're buying the raw material of they're buying the mining, the hardware or the infrastructure for the game to store their products themselves, to open up their own virtual shops, but expanding to multiple hardware and paying other people to share up in that data. Oracles. Reason why I had to extend this a little bit from my timeline is because it's really about that. And I've been digging deeper and deeper into oracles, into what oracles mean, what's that database, what's that data structure, and I've kind of been led to 4 that I'm beginning to start to break down into researching each. DOS network, decentralized Oracle service network to boost blockchain usability with real world data. Computation power, again, processing. I'm looking at this from robotic or points of view. Oracle problem, blockchain empowered smart contracts are isolated from the internet world and cannot access external data directly. Computation within the smart contract is also excessively expensive, like gas and all that other stuff, by the resource. So basically splitting away the power from the contract, spreading out that data and spreading out that the processing. Distributed processing. You're beginning to see distributed processing beginning to happen for data, right? So now you got real, verifiable, secure, like incentivized to people to hold your data. So I'm looking at this because this leads to you having your own stable, you can have like working with stable coins or getting into games, right? Internal game mechanics, cross chain, so cross platforms, right? So those are the things that are important. Then you see the strategic partners, Ethereum alliance, so basically hooking into all these Ethereum contracts, so that's important. And then so I look at those things and then look at where they are on their roadmaps. And then there's multiple Kylan networks doing the same thing, doing some other great stuff, data marketplaces, being able to sell your data, so being able to collect and sell data, right? So gaming data could be sellable. Basically, let's say if you had even gaming communities that would give the game stream data back to a particular storage data chain, and they get paid for giving their transparent data from the gamer logs into a system to manage that data and store that data for future computational and gaming reference, right? And then that company is paying people to subscribe to be able to look at all that gaming data, so the gamers get promotion and marketing for their success, for how they're working in all these virtual worlds and securing their data. Like it's crazy. Think about it like how the insurance companies put that little USB drive in your car and capture all your miles, right? Your wallet could be as easily as that, managing all the data metrics coming into it and store it in the cloud. On-chain metrics, right? When I tell you and show you what's going on with the wallets, that's just a buy, sell, buy, sell. When we're able to see data inside the wallets, that's just more metrics. especially if it's transparent and it's how you use those metrics, and then if you can sell the data or merge your data with other data and partner with other people and add to that data and now add to those metrics, like an economy or marketplace within marketplaces and shared marketplaces, and you can get percentages like on data. Razors, truly decentralized Oracle network. Oracle networks means data providers. I'm telling you, Raspberry Pis and smaller data is what's going to win. Being able to store it on hard drives that are using physical, not just, hey, I'm a storage facility for you to maybe use my thing later down the line. Like, nah, I want to store data now for my application now, and I need that now. Where can I put an application now to connect to that data? Because I'm going to have to separate how my data runs and does all that thing from how it executes and handles as a server. Separation from application and data layer. That's just how it runs, right? And then there's UI. The presentation layer should be separate from the application layer. So how is it presented? That's also in the wallet, but that'll be a separation of just UI connecting to the data in a pretty much, you could say, serverless way, like where it's just rendered and you're using rendered processing from the cloud rather than from the hardware itself, so that it's cloud rendered instead of hardware rendered. That means that about 16 gigabytes of RAM on these small boards, which should be next year or the year after that, it means the Internet of Things is baseline ready for scale. It's kind of ready now with the 8 gigabytes of RAM, but 16 gigabytes of RAM gives you business grade. And then you can even offload the GPU rendering to other hardware providers specifically for GPU on its own and keep that separate too. So I'm seeing the interhooks and the interlinking of how do we game like this? How do we build games where I can build in a world a store and sell the franchising rights to all the products in that store to other people? I can franchise my shop. How do I franchise a shop so that it can go into multiple styles of locations with multiple styles of gear, styles of music, styles of vibe? And then I look at my tribe, and then I go out here and pool from our community, and we come up with how to write these contracts digitally that can't be broken, right? Right. And the contract should be transparent and visible and easy enough for all of us to see it in a very easy way and can agree to it in a simplistic way without all the bullshit legalese or hidden in unknown code structure. And that's going to come. And when it does, I want us ready. Paralink was the last one that came from another guy. All of these came from a channel. I actually want to shout him out, but I can't remember the name right now, so I'm sorry, homie. Multi-chain Oracle platform for DeFi. Polkadot again, right? Kusama. So, and you can see all these companies that are piggybacking off of all of these other networks, right? Polygon, Matic network, right? So I'm just looking at these things, and Elrond, you're starting to see Algorand, whose scale piggybacking off those networks. Do they do that on this channel? Let's see. CMS. Tensor. I think I've heard of them. Polka Markets. That's Polkadot. I think I've heard of Ramp and Reef. I need to get deeper into them. And of course, the big media outlets have talked about Kylan. And I think did we look at them? Yeah, we did. And I saw Google on this one and the Ethereum network and BitMEX. Carnegie Mellon University as well. So university, college students, college enrollment processing, blockchain processing for student logs and computing systems. I mean, got to think about what about colleges that are able to scale up their server infrastructure because their students can build on-chain applications, earning money before they get out of school. How about becoming incubators, right? Where schools become incubators, and that's just what it is. Learn on chain, like learn on job, right? Let's not have processes that are 5 years or 6 years out when technology changes in 6 months. 4 years school doesn't help, but by the time you graduate, it's already done. We've moved on to something else. And you're not prepared for the shift. And then the 4 years are going to keep trying to shift you in, and you'll still be one in the year that they got you the education and the books to get you the new thing that's going to be hot. That thing's already out. I want to get back into the news really fast because I don't want to run this too long. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway invests in Bitcoin-friendly digital bank. Of course he does. Of course they will. He's about to phase out anyway. Bitcoin's bull market different from previous cycles? No, it's not to me. It's the same manipulation, and I already know where it's going to head once it breaks through the double top. Crypto asset Kusama, again, that name dramatically out. Of course, Polkadot is in Polka 3 or 2, right? One of those things. So something that's bubbling out, and we see that on the calendar, all the news that is coming out. And functionality, I'm just looking at practicality with applications being launched. And how can I get on there and launch mine? Here's what Ethereum, Cardano, EOS, and Icon investors should watch for according to crypto analysts. All right, so these all seem to be Icon. I don't know exactly what that is, but that is, I know, smart contract, smart contract, smart contract. Is that smart contract? You might be being told another smart contract play. It is coming from the Daily Hodl, so you might be being told another smart contract play. I'm not going to look into that now. Again, we already run over time, so I just want to get through. Trader who nailed Bitcoin top twice says this is where Bitcoin will bottom out. I'm pretty sure he's going to say the same thing, that it's about the 28.30 from a high of 60. Has failed to recover. Is he going to say 32, or I say right now in this, I'm looking up 32 to 28 like we've been talking about, right? 32 to 28. Dave identifies key resistance at 42. I said 38. And key lights area support on the 33.27. 42, 38 is in that zone. And I said the 38. Hold on. Let me just do this. Hold on. Let's just go into this real fast. I know I'm about to count down 5, 4. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. All right, it's countdown. I know I'm over my limit. I just got to go through this. I told y'all 28, 32, right? 32, 33. That's 33, 32. Right here, this line is 32. The blue line here to this purple line. So 32 to 38 is the zone and window where we're going to be dropping to. And he says here, 32, 28, 33, 32, 28, 27. Look at that. And I just showed you on the chart. I just showed it on the chart, man. 32, 28, 33, 27. And I've been saying this for weeks, so I think the sentiment thing that I showed you in the sentiment analysis, sentiment charting, I think it works. I think we kind of know how to play these waters that be. They are just commodity waters that are being manipulated, with the Bart Simpson effect. So, Bart Simpson. So I'm not tripping. I understand where it goes. I understand where it heads. The news is the news, and the news is I want what I want in my interest, right? And I focus now on my bots. I have made some changes. I'm going to get my bots. I'm going to get off of here. I've made some changes to my bots. I did them offline, not this one. This one is 11%. I wanted you to see that the bots have been running through this market. The bots have been trading and for 11 days, and this bot has owned the market from when I got in is at 2%, and the market's been sitting at 12%. Not market. The bot profit has gotten 12%. That sideways action love. I kept this to show you even when it dropped. See, I kept the bot on. Even as it dropped, it found ways to make money. Buy, buy, sell, sell, buy, buy, sell, sell, buy, buy, sell, sell. I'll have to move this bot down. And when I do move that bot down, as you see right here from 1 day ago, it's going to get that 298 love. It's going to begin to play the way we've been playing now for long term. Because when we know this run's about to happen, and when this happens, we've got our bots set to get ready for that crash, baby. November, December, baby. I'm going to start getting, like I said, October, I'm going to start getting out of my portfolio. After this run, September, October, we're going to lose our minds. And I'm going to be sitting here going, okay, I'm going to start getting out of here. I know I sound crazy to y'all, but I'm getting out. Slowly, I am beginning to snitzel down. There's another crash. I will get a little bit. I'll run back up with the next thing. I'm going to map it out, and we'll play the map outlines like we see them. It's not going to be based off of me or emotional, right? We're playing unemotional during this crash. We're going to play this market unemotional when it runs back up. We don't care. What is your job as a fund manager? You are caring about the interest, but you're caring about the jobs or the business processes that you might use later. Vet is something, thank you, Tribe, that they brought me into this because they thought I was a Bitcoin maximalist. And Vet brought me into understanding the whole warehousing data. That I could be the warehouse for a cryptocurrency, for potentially a warehouse. And I could be hosting their data and or potentially in the future, mining that for them. Or being a part of the network. But as these things grow and they begin to, get out of vaporware and start getting out of the idea phase for the next cycle, I am planning for my next cycle. And I need assets as I build more capital in games and in virtual worlds. Digital assets for my music. Where is my music going? I'm a musician. Let's stop playing. I'm in the musical geniuses. At the core, I'm going to keep it there. I talk about crypto. I talk about business. But at the core of this, I'm talking about music business. I'm going to tap in another 20. Damn. I'm sorry. I have to. Damn. Right? 11%. And then if we go into, this is the high risk portfolio. These both high risk portfolio? Hold on. Nope, there it is. There we go. This one. This one is our lower risk portfolio. I did a full swap out. You saw me turn them off in yesterday's video. They've been running 15 hours. And following the dip in the market. I'm not caring that you see negative and red. I know the market's going down, and I'm expecting to have to chase it down for a bit. But it's buying it down. I have money in the asset for it to do that. And then it will follow it back up because that's why I moved it where I moved it. But you see, I've got 20 pairs, grid lines, 20 grid lines, not 20 pairs, 20 grid lines. And if I zoom out, and I'm going to have to go on the day to do that. If I zoom out on the day, you can see I'm covered all the way to the drop. So I don't have to touch this bot anymore. That's my now new goal, is get to the point where I'm not touching these anymore. I understand my percentages. My bots are priced to concentrate on my scale. I can kind of just peek at them once in a blue, but I'm going to concentrate on content and product in digital spaces. right? Where is my music circulating? What songs am I making? And am I making atmospheric music for games, right? What market can I put that atmospheric music in? Can I make, is there a network or radio broadcasting kind of programming system that I can create in world that can use outside quote unquote data to stream in world? And I earn for those streams being able to figure out how to repackage that broadcast through a pipeline through maybe a Raspberry Pi and a reel, probably a loop, right? Like an audio loop to rebroadcast it. And now you could be streaming it and streaming it in world, so it's almost like a double pay. So I'm trying to figure out how I can rebroadcast my broadcast, but only broadcast if people are in the vicinity, right? You shouldn't be just playing by itself. People should hear it. Muzak, let's go. Can I be the Muzak software in world? How do I program that? Right. That's the goal. Data is oil. You just got to figure out how to play with it. Pause. So all the bots now, I've got set at 298.15 or 298 at least 20. Some of these dropped and were trailing, so I lost some grid lines. But where I had set my bot was where I set it. I lost grid lines from the 20 up top, but it won't matter. Why? Because when it trails back up, the lines will just follow. So I just wanted to make sure I could catch that bottom and potential bounce, though I really wish I could have gone down further here, but I couldn't at that price point. No, actually, it was a 15 purchase. I had to. I couldn't go bigger than that because it's small. I had a small investment. That's what it was. It's a small investment, see? And I couldn't go more grid lines than that. So actually, no. Most of them are 20s, and they're set up properly. 298 on this one, and we can see some profit margins been running a day. So it's going to take some time for these to buy in, especially with the dip that's happening in Bitcoin right now. So I'm not going to trip too heavy on that, right? I'm starting to see some decent percentages. I concentrate on this, right? I'm concentrating on this. I understand Mana is going through, and this is Mana ETH. So I understand I'm not getting heavy percentages on this. I'm not expecting it. It's an ETH trading pair, and I'm in it because I just want more ETH. I really just want more ETH, and I don't care how much more I get. It's just a way for me to earn more percentages in ETH. So I'm just doing that in that trading pair. I can want more USDC. I want more stablecoin. Because if the market goes down, if I'm heavily laden in stablecoin, I can buy down those assets. I want extra capital to be able to buy in other pairs that get launched on Coinbase when they launch. So if there's a good pair, like how I wanted to get into, I actually didn't get into it here. I got it was the Bitcoin Coinbase. While it is a okay exchange, it's one of the top ones that's out there as far as the more known ones, and of course I am affiliated with them with my links. But Kucoin, I just like better to be able to pull off a trade, and one of those trades which now I don't see, which means I may not have turned it back on. Hold on, I gotta look and see if I'm missing a trading pair and you're seeing it live. If I am, holy crap, I am. Hold on. CTSI is missing. And if it's not in this trading pair, it must be in the other one. Let me look at my spots and see if I can find it. Because I started trading into that. And I might. Oh, it's with the, you know what? That's with the classroom. That might be with the classroom. All right, that might be what's wrong. I am trading in CTSI, but I'm doing it with the classroom money, I think. But regardless, right? We've got longer term trades coming in, and then here we are with 2 days on this. It's 298 with 14 pairs on C Gold. doing 0.84%, which is not bad. We're doing 0.84, 1% here. So as long as these things, keep grinding the way they're grinding, I'm happy. That's the reset bot. Again, we're looking at the bot's profit on this one right now. Excuse me. On this right now is 11%, 256 on our trading pair. And as we're running down, like I said, you're seeing the percentages, and we're not, in some of these cases, we're not using a lot of money. Right? In some cases, we're not using a lot of money, and we're still earning revenue. I don't care if I'm earning 6%. I don't care. We snipe percentages here because all of these percentages add up. All of them do. And these companies, I'm looking at infrastructure plays in some of these companies. Theta is a video play. Telcoin's a communication play. Vet is an inventory play. Matic is a potential data and infrastructure play for me. DSLA, that is SLA agreements. Right? So I play different. PDEX, decentralized exchange, I think. So I'm playing my markets to earn on the coins that I actually want more data in, maybe, or Mana is Decentraland. I might want to work in there in the future with my product. So let me start making some revenue until I can figure out, can I stake or do anything with that? Do I want to take the risk of doing any of the moving my money off to lock it up in wallets? And do I want to do that with hardware? And do I have to buy extra hardware to do that so that that could be mining on its own? Right? These are all the things I got to start thinking about. Or do I do it in the cloud? And can I then, if I can mine in the cloud like I can with AWS, oh crap, what does that mean if I got cheaper cloud mining? If I can run applications in cloud to mine other applications, that's going to be sick mode. Sicko mode. Band, a data play. ADA is, ADA. That's a smart contract, NFT, potential gaming. ADA is like my next 5 years. I'm getting into gaming plays in this. I think that this is going to be a huge gaming play for me, as well as potential Matic as an intermediary to get me into potential ADA NFT market. Mana, again, I'm trying to get more Mana. Gaming. I think Loom is data too. So I'm infrastructuring up. I'm looking for any infrastructure or data plays that I can play, or application plays that I can play. How do I store my stuff now, and how do I start making money in it as I start figuring out who's going to be number one, number two? I am just checking my last little bit of note. I don't have any notes. I kind of fly from the gun, but I just want to hold on. Give me a second. Let me open up that other screen. Give me a sec. Where is it? There it is. Right. We're gonna hit refresh one last time just to look if there's anything that popped up again on radar. We were here. Kasama, Cardano. Revolut adding support for Dogecoin amid crush of demand. Doge. So again, the manipulation is real. 28 is kind of the zone I'm phasing into. As we know, they're trying to trigger one last bottom down to the 28 zone. They're trying to pull it. We'll see if we can hold 31. We have touched all the way to 30. Well, we have 31 is our holding point. But anything in this zone is pretty much tendrils for support. Where this is really the supporting line of 33 is where we're holding firm and standing on, is that purple. We break through, it bounces to this one, which is your 28.7 zone, right? I'm just right now. I'm gonna, if the weakness, let's look closer in time. Hold on, let's dig in. Let's go 4-hour windows, right? Let's start digging in time and seeing where we are. We're crossing. It looks like we're crossing back into negative sentiment, right? Let's go in the last 30 minutes now. Just waiting for it. Negative sentiment, negative sentiment. So we already crossed into negative sentiment. In 12-hour overview, we're dipping into negative. Okay. If we get news, we could potentially bounce back off of it. I really can't ever call it. I can't ever call it, man. All I know is we're still underneath that 200-day moving average as we look on the day chart. We do have some sentiment pushing us back up day to day. It looks like we're going from negative to positive. But again, I know I'm seeing sharp movements on the back end for the Barts. The Barts are playing their game still. And we know they want to fall it. They want it to fall down. They already want it to fall in that 32 to 28 or 31 strike zone. Right? 31 strike zone. So, I want to go back to this picture, and I want you to think about this one last time. What is your product? Does your product have scale? Scale for me is 1,000 people. What is the infrastructure that'll hold that? How can you scale from that to 10,000? Because if you can get to 1,000, you should be able to do 10, because if 1,000 is where you peak out, that can't be where you start your scale. 1,000 is where, if you can at least do 1,000, then just be sure it can scale to the 10. And if you got more than the 10,000 at scale, then you can go. You've got plenty of wings to fly, right? So then if you just become, then success isn't a hindrance. And that's the biggest thing we always have to prepare for that we never really think about, is success. And planning for success. Planning for a product. My product, data. How do I handle music? Where is my music? How often is it being played? Have they gone to my Spotify or YouTube channels when you market it, depending on where it is? Is there networks within networks? And can I get money just not even just me recording? Can I make money from just being the sound files to the games? You know, my family in the tribe that make sound effects and stuff. Can I say, hey guys, take your stuff and now you can do the ambiance and the lo-fis and just be respected without worrying about all the people that want to disrespect you and your own craft? What does it matter anymore? You don't have to promote to them. You can be practical. They'll just play your music in the background while they're playing games. While they're playing games. That has multiple double, no, it's like double, triple entendre on that one. While they're playing games. I'm going to end that like that, right? We have to think about the industries, like what you see with this hardware, potential hardware here. That's an industry. What it's connected to is a new industry. It's communication. Can I send data and communicate through the blockchain? Can I put a piece of music through the data, through the blockchain, and people hear it? I'm going to then tomorrow talk about communication chains, right? For media. Can we start putting music in other places? And in a minute, when we can automate it, that just makes it easier for us to distribute. So how do we begin distribution of our assets? How do we catalog it, right? Catalog system. That's how data begins. I write it in one time, and from the one time it's written in, it's used the same way: title, name, description, the file, the graphics, the video. That's all data for it. And it then just gets promoted to all the social networks, and you have the file, and it just needs to be uploaded. There's your automation. And we know it's up there because we proof from the URL, proof of existence, proof of social existence. There's another new term we can throw out there. We just keep coming up with terms. Can I prove that the Twitter post was posted? Yes. I can take a screenshot by knowing the link. And then I can post that screenshot and I can have consensus because 20 other machines did that. Fast. No power necessary. No real power necessary to do that. That's consensus. See? Then can we scrape that data and do something with it? Okay, these machines are scraping it, or the same machines scrape it. They get the data. We validate the data based off the screenshots and that. And did the data come back through properly? Consensus on data, retrieval or extraction. It's a system that manages itself almost. Meet George Jetson. What happens when we hook more AI to it? What blockchain is doing that to be a sentinel to monitor game schematics and hardware and being able to issue new hardware? What is doing that? Things we can't see. What clothes is being used on the game? Avatars. Who designed their clothes? What coin is their team riding with? What's their team coin? Because everyone will have a coin. In time, you will be tokenized. Token? Oh, that's cold. That's cold. Damn, I'm gonna be token for real. I'm gonna be a token black. Damn, that's cold, bruh. Damn, that's cold. There's so much levels on that motherfucker shit, dude. So, yeah. What are you gonna do when your business is changed so dramatically? How can you change your business? Because it's gonna be based on data. And what's your data? What's your oil? What's your application? Or do you see what I'm doing? Do you understand it? Are you in graphics? Are you in design? Are you in designing web applications? Are you starting to program? Like I am. I'm getting back into programming, but I want to do it visually. I showed you the tools already. I'm just waiting for Node.js to be on chain. And I can upload a application, a Node.js application, a JavaScript application. Node.js has already been proved that it is sustainably scalable. That you can scale apps. If you think in scale properly and kind of serve, there's some expense, but you can microtransactionalize you can microtransactionalize or modularize, fragment out the processing away from certain things. Like you can kind of split up all the processing and then almost in a serverless way be able to scale up the operations of doing a task. Task-based processing. Yeah. That's what's coming. So begin to think about your business in scale. 1,000 people at a time. Because then you have a small amount of revenue that you have to then come out of pocket with. Then you also only have to ask your clientele to come out of pocket with a small little bit of revenue. Because if 1,000 people give you $5, you've got $5 grand. Multiply that by 12, you've got 60 grand, which is a livable salary. So then if I'm selling my products, how many products am I selling in those multiverses that are at the price point of $1 in world money, but out of the world, that product is a lot more money. In world, I'm making hundreds of dollars that are converting into US fiat that I can just put it on a card and use anywhere I want to use in time. Or just shift it down to PayPal and in time, like when I'm ready for that right now I don't treat crypto like a piggy bank. Assets get locked, bruh. You don't walk around with stock in your pocket, do you? Nah, you're a financier. So, my name is J Tragic Jeffrey. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking time with me and listening to me ramble on about how I feel about the next level of the business I've got to do. I'm hoping that you see the scale of what's coming with this server infrastructure that can be spun up and pay people for maintenance. That's what Bitcoin means. You pay people to maintain hardware and to grow and scale and upgrade that hardware over time, and that they get paid to do so. Now, we're going to get better machines and smarter machines that can do even more. And we can get paid even more because it's not just maintaining the machines, you can also maintain the content inside multiple multiverses. My name is J Tragic Jeffrey for Toxic Hustle. This is CryptoPlunder. Y'all be safe out on these streets. Peace.